Hello and welcome to my channel. This here is a main bathroom on the second floor. So what I'm doing is a 30 mil Ditra. I like using different kind of Ditras, get the feel of all kinds. I always use a 30 mil for a 3/4 inch hardwood because I do quite a bit of leveling, and it's a little bit better to have a thinner layer. So what I'm doing is I laid out everything and then dry, and then what I do is take it all out, mark it, and then I come in and I wet the floor, and each section just do it in, and then use your trowel to put pressure on it back and forth. After that, the next day I come back, and this is called flashing. So I flash the cement with an Ultra Flex 2, and the next day I'll come back in and I'll show you how to gauge a tile. Okay, so this here is the next day. So what I usually do is I always put a square against the hardwood. So this right here is called a dummy line. It's not going to be my tile line. In this situation, I want to find out how bad the room is, so the dummy line will help me correct everything. So I mark out with my square, and what I'm going to do now is grab my string line. Just give me a second here, and I'm going to put it right on that line, my square line there. Remember, this is just a dummy line, and I'll explain a little bit better later on. So I just strike it just a little bit, and then so I can see it when I'm a little bit further down. It'll be a little easier for me to see that strike line. And just strike that line again all the way. Make sure you're right on that square line. Don't veer off or anything. Okay, there's my dummy line. So what I'm going to do here is, in this situation, because there's on both walls, there's going to be a cabinet wall there on one side, and there's going to be, actually it's a laundry room as well, so there's going to be cabinets along the other side of the wall. I think they're doing a bed and breakfast. I'm not sure. I didn't quite ask. So anyways, what I because there's going to be cuts on each side, I'm not worried about that because it's going to be pretty well hidden. So in this situation, it's nice to have a full tile in front of the tub, and it's just gonna be a little bit more cleaner. So what I'm doing right now is I'm measuring the walls from one wall to the other wall to the dummy line, and I think I might be like 3/4 of an inch off. There's no such thing as a square room. It's very rare to get one of those, especially when you have a tile tub. Even the tub is shifted. So I'm just gonna check. Always check like 3-4 times. Just take your time, because this is very important when you're laying tiles. You just got to make sure that everything is perfect. Once you take your time, do your lines, you'll be good. So what I'm doing here is I'm gonna straighten out that dummy line a little bit better. So I'm gonna go down to the front there, and I'm gonna check that and see if I'm okay. You don't have to do anything in the front. Just make sure that you're okay. It's the back wall that you need to strike a line. It'll be 3/4 of an inch. So I think I was calculated. It was like I think I did like a 3/8 or a 1/2 inch to make it a little bit straighter. So just in front of that, strike a line again, because now both sides will be a lot more equal. Strike that line. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to get your pencil and put an X on that first dummy line, just so you know that that's not the line to follow. And again, you always make sure and you check. Check on both sides. Everything looks good. All right. So I'm going to grab a tile and just make sure how bad that tub is. I think from one end to the other was a quarter of an inch from the front to the back wall. Quarter inch that tub is off. So put a tile against it dry. Leave yourself about a 1/8 gap between the tub and that tile, just for expansion, because you're going to grout in silicone later on. So I put a mark on that wall, or on that floor. I'm going to measure from that tile mark to the dummy line. And this is where I need my glasses, because I'm getting old and I'm not the greatest at seeing things like I used to be. So I believe from that dummy line to that tile mark is 12 inches. So I'm going to go to the front of that dummy line and I'm going to mark 12 inches from that dummy line. Isn't this awesome? Who am I kidding? Again, I'm going to go down to that dummy line. I'm going to mark another 12 inches. Okay. Tile. Put it in there dry, see how close I am. Alright. Always take your time. Okay. So now, I'm just gonna move that camera there for you. We're gonna get my string line and we're gonna mark, put it right on that mark. Hurry up, Roberto. Let's get going here. All right. Go all the way to the back wall on that 12-inch mark again. And strike your line. All right. That will be my tile line that I'm going to use. Make sure you always keep on that line. So if you want, check again, make sure that everything is going well, or everything is going to go smoothly. So check that line against the tub and that line. So everything is gonna, once you lay tiles, that's it. You don't want to be tearing anything out. Alright. Put another tile down there, dry. Make sure you're on that line. Remember, just leave yourself about 1/8 between the tub, just for expansion. Okay. One day I'll give you a thumbs up, see what happens here. Yeah. See how I always check? Always check. Very important. Check that front there, make sure everything's looking good. Make sure gonna be good. Remember to always start with a full at an open area. You always, rule of thumb, always start with a full. Don't have cuts at a doorway. That's a big no-no. All right. So I hope you come back, and I'll post a video of my installation. I'm getting everything ready now. All right, there comes the thumbs up. Let's do her. Come on, let's get going.